Heart opening yoga. This practice is going to be full of shoulder and chest openers, getting us in touch with our heart center. You are going to need a bolster or a couple pillows that are stacked. We'll start in a comfortable seated position with one hand on the heart. And as you start to settle in, feel the motion of the chest with your breath and feel the beat of your heart, that rhythm of your life pumping your blood through your body. Feel the strength and the vitality of the life coursing through you, your own internal drumbeat. As you breathe, picture your heart center green and glowing in the center of your chest. See if with the next few breaths you can imagine expanding that light outward as you start to roll the shoulders up to the ears on the inhale, back and around with the exhale. Just bringing in a little gentle movement, starting to warm up through the torso, getting into that heart space. As you exhale, drop your chin to your chest and roll the right ear over to the right shoulder. Just feel that gentle stretch in the side of the neck. Drop the chin back to the chest. Inhale, left ear to the left shoulder. Just getting into some nice, easy stretches back over to the right side. And then take that left hand and stretch out into the fingertips like you're putting your arm into a coat sleeve. And then come back to the left side. Do the same thing with the right arm. Stretch out into the fingertips like you're putting on a coat. And then come back over to the right side. With the left arm out, start to roll that whole arm from the shoulder down to the fingertips. Bring your palms to face up. And then see if you can roll all the way forward, bringing the palm up from the other side. Make sure you're not curling forward though. Keep that body in line. Arm, shoulder, head, all in the same line. We're going to switch sides. Bring the left ear to the left shoulder, reach the right hand out, wiggle the fingers, and then start to roll that shoulder back. Bring your palm to face up. Still stretching into the side of the neck. And then roll the shoulder all the way forward, palm up from the other side. And again, make sure that you're not curling forward with that shoulder. Keep it in line. And then we'll drop the head back to center and come up. Bring the fingers interlaced at the back of the neck and gently draw up against the base of the skull. A little bit of traction for the neck. Just bringing in the daylight between the bones. And then release, bring the hands back to the knees. We're going to come into a few rounds of seated cat-cow. Inhaling to lean forward, exhaling, rounding back. As you come forward, really shine that heart center open, drawing the shoulders back, letting the lungs expand. And as you do your seated cat-cows, in this heart opening practice, think about some of the ways that you receive love. Inhale, circle, sweep the arms up. And exhale, press into the fingers, stretch out through the shoulders as you sweep the arms down. Again, inhale, reach up, all the way into the fingertips. Exhale, stretch out, bring the arms down. And again, inhale, reach up, stretch up into the fingertips. And then bend the elbows, come into a little seated back bend. Inhale, lift back up. And exhale, a little seated back bend. Lift the sternum. Inhale, reach back up. Last time, exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, stretch out. Arms come all the way down. We're going to slide the right hand out, swing the left arm up and over, and straighten and bend that right elbow a few times. Just easing into that stretch through the left side body. Come back to center and switch sides. Left hand comes down, right arm comes up and over. Straightening and bending that elbow a few times. Just getting into that side stretch. And then back to center. From here, we'll bring the hands to the knees again, and we're going to do a few more rounds of cat-cow, but this time really open up through the chest. Really move the whole body, round the shoulders as you come forward. Open across the collarbones as you come back. And then we'll move into some Kundalini circles. Start recruiting the abdominals if you haven't already done so, drawing the navel back to the spine as you exhale and letting the belly expand fully as you inhale. Don't mind my 65-pound lap dog here. Make sure you circle in both directions. And then we're going to sweep the arms up again and take a twist. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind the back, clicking over the shoulder. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, twist to the right side. Left hand, right knee, right hand behind the hip, looking over the right shoulder. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the left again. Maybe going a little bit further this time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the right. Look over the shoulder. And then come back to center. From here, we'll bring the hands to the tops of the shoulders. We're going to be moving with the breath here. So you're going to exhale to the side, inhale, center, exhale to the opposite side, inhale, center. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. As you move at a pace that feels comfortable for you, really, really, really feel your abdominals working here. Feel that force of the breath coming out. Hands back to the knees. We're going to come up onto the hands and knees. Make sure everything is stacked. Come into a few rounds of cat-cow. From here, tuck your toes under and sit back on your hips, on your heels with your knees a little bit wide. We're going to do a lion's breath. Inhale and then exhale to stick out your tongue, raise your gaze. Really nice, forceful exhale, deep breath in. And again, exhale, stick out the tongue, open the gaze. Really feel that stretch through the throat as your head lifts on the exhale. Then you can come back to hands and knees and stretch just your right leg out. Keep that knee soft. Make sure it's not locking back. And start to gently rock back and forth, stretching through the heel, back of the ankle, and the calf. Maybe you're even feeling it in your hamstrings. Then lift that leg. Hold it, squeeze that glute. Use the core for support, lifting the navel to the spine. Bring the right leg back in. And then step the left leg back. Same thing, make sure that your knee isn't locked out. Little bit of a bend. Stretching back into that heel, back of the ankle, and the calf. And then lift the left leg, squeeze that glute. Use the core. See if you can contract your hamstrings as well. And then bring the left leg back in. We're going to come up into a down dog, pressing into the palms, pedaling the heels. Just bringing some gentle movement in. Really elongate the spine, maybe bend the knees deeply, stretch back through the tailbone. Do that again. Bend the knees, stretch back through the spine. Then as you inhale, reach that right leg up, and we're going to take a little side stretch here. Both sides, the left leg comes up, bend the knees, stack through the hips. Back to down dog. And then walk all the way up into a forward fold. We're going to start rolling up to mountain Tadasana, stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other. Coming all the way up. Plant through the feet nice and firm, bend the knees, inhale to circle sweep up. And then exhale, standing back bend. Squeeze the glutes, draw the core in, inhale, reach back up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Again, inhale, circle sweep up. Exhale, standing back bend, bend the elbows, lift the sternum. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Bend the knees. One more time, inhale, reach up, circle sweep. Exhale, standing back bend. Inhale, straighten back up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Clasp the elbows and sway. Feel the weight shifting from leg to leg and how that changes the pressure down in the soles of the feet. Changes the stretch through the back of the legs. Release the elbows. And then start rolling back up to mountain. From here, we're going to begin our sun salutations. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank, come down to the belly. First time, inhale for cobra, hover the palms, use the back muscles to lift. Exhale, press all the way up to down dog. Take a breath. Then step, walker, hop to forward fold. Inhale, circle, sweep up. And again, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the hands, exhale, stepping back to plank, lowering down. Inhale for cobra, hover the palms. Exhale, tuck the toes, come back to down dog. Nice full breath here in down dog. Then step, walker, hop to forward fold. Inhale, circle, sweep up. Again, forward fold. Halfway lift. Let the hands come back to plank and lower down. This time, if you want, come into upward facing dog. Lift the hips and knees, shine the chest forward. Exhale, back to down dog. Bend the knees, step or hop to forward fold. Inhale, circle, sweep up. We're going to do another one. If you want, you can move a little bit faster, starting to really build some heat. You can try a jump back if you want to. If you're coming into upward dog, really lift the hips and the knees. You can try a hop forward if you want. Circle, sweep up with that final inhale. Getting the body nice and warm, connecting with the breath. We're going to come into a twist here. Reach the left arm up and exhale it down. Inhale up, exhale down. One more time. Inhale up, Exhale down. Plant the hands again, step back to plank, and finish out that sun salutation. With your next sun salutation, we're going to repeat that twist on the opposite side. Right leg is forward, left leg is back. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, open, twist to the right. Exhale, right hand comes back down. Step back to plank. Finish the sun salutation. From here, as you inhale, reach the right leg back. And with an exhale, lunge that right foot up. We're going to rise into crescent. Keep the left heel lifted. Bring your hands to heart center and then twist to the right. Left elbow, right knee. Stretch the arms open, really opening into that heart space. Twist back to center. Raise the arms. And then exhale, step into chair. Engage the glutes and the inner thighs. Really push through the soles of the feet. Think about keeping the ribs drawn in as well. Activate the internal obliques. And with an exhale, you can drop back to forward fold. Take a breath here. Maybe clasp the elbows and sway again. And then we'll release the arms, circle sweep back up. And we're going to repeat that standing back bend. Lift the chest. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, plant the hands, come back to plank, lower down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. This time, inhale, sweep the left leg back. And as you exhale, lunge that foot up. We're going to rise into crescent, reaching up toward the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center, twist to the left, right elbow, left knee. Stretch the arms open here, really opening through that heart space. Press into the fingertips, hands back to heart center, reaching up, facing forward. Then exhale, lean in, step into chair. Nice and firm through the legs, through the hips, drawing in the ribs. And then exhale, release to a forward fold. Keeping your heels against the mat, shift the hips, paddling the knees. Really feel that stretch coming all the way up to the tops of the hamstrings. Take your time here. Make sure those heels are pressed down. And then finally, circle sweep back up, warrior one. We're going to step back with the left foot, right knee bent. Pressing up into the fingertips, nice and tall, squaring the hips forward. Come into a proud warrior, bending the elbows, lifting the chest. Make sure your head doesn't fall back. Keep the back of the neck long and engaged. Inhale, reach back up. And exhale, swing the arms behind you, clasp the hands, fold into humble warrior. Come down just as far as you feel stable, lifting the navel to the spine. Start straightening back up, warrior one. And then exhale to proud warrior. Open the chest, draw the shoulder blades together. Inhale, reach back up, warrior one. Exhale, swing the arms all the way behind you. Maybe you're clasping the hands, folding into humble warrior. Keep pressing down into that left foot. Keep that back leg strong. Inhale, start to rise. And then exhale, proud warrior. Use the core here, drawing the ribs toward the pelvis, even as you back bend. Exhale to swing the arms all the way down, clasping the hands. Feel for that stretch in the shoulders as the hands and arms lift away from the body. And then begin to drop the hands. We're going to press back into pyramid, straightening that right leg. From here, we're going to open to the right side, reaching the right arm up, pressing into the fingertips. Exhale, drop that right hand. And start to rise. You're going to roll yourself up, come back to warrior one, reaching up. Lift onto the left toes, and we're heading into Warrior 3. Take a little hop, hinge at the hips, arms come forward, sole of the foot comes back, and then we'll bring the arms out to the side. Really open that chest. Draw the shoulder blades together. From here, drop back to Warrior 1. Take a breath. Lift up onto the left toes. We're going to do that again. Reaching forward. Keep the back leg nice and strong. Swing the arms out to the sides. And then back to Warrior 1. One more breath here. And then we're going to pivot up onto the balls of the feet, drop the hands, lower down to the belly, finish out a sun salutation. Maybe you want to try hopping forward this time. Inhale, circle, sweep up. We're going to step the right leg back, Warrior 1. Press up into the fingertips, keep the hips squared. And then as you exhale, bend the elbows, lift into Proud Warrior. Open across the chest, shine that heart center forward. Inhale, straighten the arms. And exhale, swing them all the way back, clasp the hands, fold down into Humble Warrior. We're going to repeat those two poses a couple more times. You can move at your own pace or you can follow me. As you come up and into your Proud Warrior, remember that the word for heart and the French word for courage are the same, have the same root, that it takes strength and courage to be open and loving. And as you dip down into your Humble Warrior pose, think about what it means to love humbly, to practice humility in the way that we give and receive love. Exhale, Proud Warrior. Be proud of your loving heart. Inhale, Warrior 1. Exhale, Humble Warrior. Love humbly. From here, bring the hands down and straighten that left leg, pressing back into pyramid pose. Feel that stretch through the back leg. Inhale to sweep the left arm out to the side, pressing up into the fingertips. Exhale, drop that left hand. Notice how that feels a little bit different than the twist we did earlier. Rise all the way up. Bend that left knee again. Warrior 1. Lift onto the ball of the right foot. We're going to come into Warrior 3. Hinging at the hips. Really use the glutes here. Keep that back foot pressed. Bring the arms out to the side so you can open a little bit more across the chest. Lifting the navel up. Drop it back to Warrior 1. And then again, up on the balls of the feet. Hinge at the hips. Fingers come forward, sole of the foot comes back, then swing the arms to the side. Use the core, hug in the ribs. You're doing great. Exhale back to Warrior 1. Drop that right foot. Last time. Pivot up on the ball of the back foot, drop the hands, step back to plank. One more sun salutation. You got this. From here, reach the right leg back on an inhale. And we're going to come into a fallen triangle. Slide that right leg forward. Open up with the left arm. Back to down dog. Inhale, left leg back. Same thing. Reach it out and forward. Open the right arm. Fallen triangle. And then back to down dog. Inhale, right leg back again, three-legged dog. This time lunge that right foot all the way up. Pivot on the left foot. We're going to come into Warrior 2. Stretching out through the arms, pressing all the way to the fingertips. And we're going to take a few shoulder circles here, nice and gentle. Still continuing to stay nice and open and soft through the heart space. Make sure you circle in both directions. Then lower into a side angle, bringing the right elbow to the thigh. Sweep the left arm up and over. Keep that whole left side strong. Inhale to come back to warrior two, and then exhale, drop the left hand to the thigh, open into the right side body for reverse warrior. Exhale, come back to side angle. This time you can drop down if you want, reaching a little bit further, and then come back to warrior two and take a bind with the left arm. Slide it behind the back as you open into reverse warrior. Next, we're going to reach all the way around that right thigh so we can come into bird of paradise. The left arm comes back, clasp the fingers, and really try to get that elbow as close to the knee as you can so that it forms a little shelf for you to rest that leg on. Big hop, left leg comes in, shift the weight into that left side as you stand, using the arms to lift that right leg. Take your time coming up, make sure the leg is working and not just the arms. And then if you want to, you can start to straighten that leg. Release whenever you're ready and make your way back to warrior two. From here, we're going to heel toe in a little bit, coming into half moon. That's right, one challenge pose after another. Open into that left side, flexing the foot. Then if you want to go a little further, you can bend the left knee. Coming into sugar cane pose. This is another opportunity for a heart opening pose. Release gently with control all the way back to a skandasana. Drop into that left side. We're going to move into a twist here. Plant the left hand. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. You can look up to that right side if you want. And then maybe you need to use your hands to push yourself back up. Back to warrior two. Stretch the arms out. Straighten the front leg and come into triangle. Make sure you're really reaching forward first. Left fingers point straight up to the ceiling. Right hand could be bracing against the right leg, or maybe you're reaching all the way to the floor. Come all the way back up, warrior two. And then we're going to pivot, cartwheel the hands down. And we'll move from here into a wild thing. We're going to slide that right leg forward and then open up. Similar to fallen triangle, a little bit more of a back bend here. Coming back to down dog. Take a breath. And then inhale, sweep the left leg back. Exhale, lunge it up. Drop that right foot, coming into warrior two. The opposite leg forward. As you exhale, move into side angle, swinging the right arm up and over this time, really pressing firmly into that back foot. Use the glutes. Inhale, warrior two. And then drop the right hand to the right thigh, open up into the left side body. Reverse warrior. Really feel that stretch between the ribs. Exhale back to warrior two, coming into a side angle now. And then dropping all the way down, just deepening that stretch a little bit, getting us ready for bird of paradise. Come back up when you're ready. This time taking a bind, slide that right arm behind the back as you open up into the left side. Nice and strong still through the feet and the legs. And then exhale back to warrior two. We're going to reach all the way down now and bring that left arm around the back of the left thigh. Right arm reaches for the fingers. Keep that elbow as close to the knee as you can. Big hop forward with the right foot. Shift the weight into that leg. Start to straighten up. Make sure you're using that leg as well as the arms. And then if you want to, maybe trying to straighten that left leg. Do this with as much control as you can. Release gently all the way back to warrior two. All right, time for half moon. Heel toe that back foot in. When you're ready, like you're going to cartwheel, reach the left hand for the mat, opening through the right side. And then if you want to go a little further, you can try sugar cane pose, bending that right knee, reaching the right hand back, shoulder opener, hip opener. Release whenever you're ready. Start to drop that foot. We're going to come into a Skandasana. Maybe using the hands to help get you all the way to the floor. Inhale, sweep up, taking a little twist. Exhale, that hand comes down. Press yourself all the way back up to warrior two. Checking with your feet, make sure they're still in the right place. We're going to straighten that front leg and then come into triangle. Feet should be perpendicular to each other with the heels in line. Take just another breath here, then rise back to warrior two. And then pivot on that right foot, cartwheel the hands down. Coming into wild thing, swing that left arm forward and through, opening up, back bend. Open that chest, that heart center, come back to down dog. You're doing so great. From here, reach the right leg back again. Exhale, drop the left knee to come into a low lunge. You can bring the hands up if you want to. Get that chest a little bit more open. And then if you want to go even further, you can swing the arms up. If you want to go further still, you can add a teeny tiny back bend. Wherever you're at, start bringing the hands back down. We're going to come into a twist. Swing the right arm up. Exhale, right hand down. And again, inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right arm down. And then maybe you want to try bending that left leg, reaching the right hand back to catch the foot or the ankle. Cat chasing its tail pose. This is a pretty intense stretch. If you want to pad the knee, you can fold your mat in or grab a blanket. We're going to come back to that low lunge and then move into a half splits. Dropping the hips back. Feeling that stretch in the right hamstrings. Make sure your knee's a little bit bent. Then we're going to come all the way down into a half hero pose and make our way into heron. So your left foot should be just a little bit outside of the hip. And then we're going to bring the hands under the right ankle, start to lift it so the leg begins to straighten. This one always makes my leg shake so much. You're using the core, you're using that quad. Starts to bring that foot back down. Come into full hero, bending that right leg back. So the hips are sitting between the feet. If this is too much for your knees, you can sit on your heels. And start bringing the hands forward and make your way back to down dog. This time as you inhale, sweep the left leg back. Exhale, lunge it up. And then drop the right knee, low lunge. We're going to repeat those twists as you inhale. Nope, not yet. Bring the hands to the knee. And then if you want to go a little further, you can reach the arms up. And if you want to go even further still, you can add a little back bend. Just make sure that you're maintaining a lot of control through the front of the body. Core is engaged. Bring the hands back down and we'll take a twist. Inhale, reach the left arm up, open that heart center. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, left arm up. Feel that twist. Use your abdominals. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale, left arm comes up. And exhale down. And then if you want to, you can try cat chasing its tail, bending the right knee, reaching the left hand back to catch the foot or the ankle. This is a really intense stretch. Make modifications as your body wants. And then start to release and shift the hips back into half splits. Feeling that hamstring stretch in the front leg, keeping a little bit of a bend in the knee. See if you can drop the weight just a teeny bit more with a few exhales. And then moving into half hero, dropping the hips, bringing that foot outside of the hip, and bringing the hands under the ankle of the straight leg. Start to lift it. Really using the core, really using that quad. Foot is flexed. One more breath. Start to release gently, moving into hero. Both feet to the outsides of the hips. You are the hero of your story. Begin sliding forward, coming into another down dog. From here, we're going to come into a dolphin pose. One at a time, drop the forearms and the elbows. Make a fist with one hand, wrap the other hand around it. And as you press down into your elbows and forearms, make sure that your head is lifting off of the mat. Nice and long through the shoulders. Bend the knees, drop them down, back to tabletop or hands and knees. A few more rounds of cat-cow. If you want here, you could circle the hips. Really get into the whole body. Feel that movement through the pelvis, through the shoulder blades. A little bit of stretch in the neck. Make sure you circle in both directions. Feel the free movement of your body, the freedom with which you give and receive love. You're going to lower the hips to the heels, coming into a nice child's pose. If you want, you can bend the elbows and bring the palms together at the back of the neck for a little bit of a tricep stretch, a little bit of a shoulder stretch. And bring the hands back down and sweep all the way back, coming into a little seated back bend, pressing into the fingertips. Lift the heart center. Exhale, swing forward again, child's pose. Inhale, sweep the arms back, seated back bend. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, open wide, lift the ribs. Exhale, back to child's pose, supplication. From here, lift all the way up onto the knees. We're going to come into a camel pose. So start with your toes tucked, hands at the backs of the hips. Start to bring the elbows toward each other. Engage that core and the glutes as you lift up, reaching the hands back for the heels if you want. Really maintain that glute and core strength, drawing in the ribs. Not so much a back bend as a lifting and extending upwards. Make sure your head doesn't fall back. If you want to go further, you could drop off of the toes, bringing the feet flat. I'm not going to do that. Release whenever you're ready. Make your way back to hands and knees. From here, we're going to come into melting heart pose. Walk the hands forward. Keep the arms engaged, press into the palms. Shoulders are strong as you lower the chest and the head toward the mat. Make sure that your hips are staying stacked over the knees. You can keep this pose very active, or you can make it a little bit more relaxing, but make sure that you're not completely slacking off on the shoulders. Keep pressing into the palms like you're trying to push yourself back up. Take your time here. Feeling that heart space opening, reaching towards the earth. And begin to slide the hands back in, lifting back up to tabletop. From here, make your way into a seat. Legs crossed. We're going to come into a cow face pose. We're going to take the right leg, stack it over the left leg, knees stacked, feet outside of the hips. If you want to add the arm portion, then the left arm comes up and the right arm comes down and around. Fingers are reaching toward each other. Maybe today you're just waving. Maybe today you're touching a little bit. Maybe today you can even get a good grip. Make sure that your ribs are drawing in so that your body isn't flaring forward. Nice and strong and engaged through the front body, even as you're stretching into the shoulders and the upper arms. Spine should be long and straight. If you want, you can add a forward fold here. And you can do this with that arm bind, or you can release the arms and bring the hands to the mat. Or you can simply stay upright if that would feel best for your body. Inhale to rise when you're ready. And start to unwind the arms. And then we'll unwind the legs. You can do this by spinning around if you want. Or just uncross and recross. Now the left leg is on top. Feet are out to the sides. If you're adding the arm stretch, right arm comes up, bend it back. Left arm comes down and around, fingertips reach for each other. Maybe you're just waving on this side. Maybe your fingers can touch, maybe they can clasp. Focus on opening through that heart space. Bringing a nice stretch around the shoulders. Maybe you can feel it in the collarbones. Optional forward folds. And again, you can do this with the hands clasped, or you can release the arm bind and bring the hands to the floor. And then rise when you're ready, coming up on an inhale. Release the arms. And then uncross the legs. We'll bring the soles of the feet together for bound ankle. Feet should be a comfortable distance away from the hips. Start by lifting up through the spine nice and long. And then we'll take a twist. Bring the right hand to the feet and the left hand behind the hips. Look out over that left side. Then come back to center and switch. Left hand holds the feet. Right hand reaches behind the hips, looking over the right shoulder. Keep the core engaged. Use the obliques to facilitate that twist rather than pushing with your hands. Bring the hands behind the hips now. Squeeze the glutes and lift the hips up off of the mat. Feel that opening through the pelvis and the inner thighs. Exhale, drop the hips. And then come into a seated forward fold. Notice where you're feeling the stretch and bring the breath in to start softening those tense spaces. Start to rise up again. Bring the knees in a little bit back to cross legs and bring the hands to the tops of the shoulders. We're going to take some elbow circles. Really get into this with your whole torso, continuing to open and soften through the heart space. You should feel movement around the collarbones. You should feel the movement of your scapula. The spine can slightly flex and extend as well. And then start circling in the opposite direction. And then we're going to release. And come all the way down onto the belly. From here, come into a Sphinx pose, propping the elbows. Forearms are square, fingers are wide. We're going to lift up through the crown of the head, continuing to shine that heart center forward. Feel that stretch in the abdomen. And then start lowering yourself all the way down to the belly. We're going to bring the arms out. And inhale, lift everything, coming into Super Yogi. Exhale to release. Inhale to lift arms and legs, Super Yogi, press out into the fingertips. Exhale, release. And again, inhale to lift, Super Yogi, really squeeze the glutes. Exhale to release. Now we're going to come into a half bow. Stretch out the right arm and leg. Bend the left knee and reach that left hand back. Lift, you can press into the right palm if you want to. Open that left shoulder back. Maybe the left knee is lifting off the mat, maybe it's not. You want to feel that stretch in your quad. And then release. All the way back down. And switch. Bend the right knee. Reach the right hand back for the foot or the ankle, and then lift when you're ready. Maybe you're using the left hand for a little bit of support. Maybe the right knee lifts, maybe it doesn't. Feel that opening through the right shoulder. And then gently release all the way back down. From here, grab your bolster or your pillows or even blankets that you have folded up. We're going to come into a supported fish. You're going to bring that bolster or pillow stack right to the back of the hips and then roll back onto it. So the pelvis is resting on the floor and the back is supported. Bring the arms out to the sides. Make sure that your forearms are resting. And if it's more comfortable for your shoulders, you can bring the arms by the sides or somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have to be straight out in a T. We're going to take several breaths here. Start to check in with your body. Check in with that space across the chest, space between the collarbones. Check in with the ribs. Let them be nice and soft. Allow the breath to expand into the front of the body. Allow the breath to expand into the heart center, that green glowing ball of light. Maybe you could even picture that green light radiating or flowing out of you, stretching out in all directions. To come out of this pose, we're going to roll off to the side rather than sitting straight up. Coming all the way down onto the back now with the knees bent. Bring the soles of the feet together, reclined round angle. Bring a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly. Check in with your heart. Feel it beating. Notice if your heart feels a little bit different than when we started our practice. We built a lot of warmth in the body. Now is the time to begin slowing down and cooling down again. And then you can release the hands down to the sides. Bring the knees back together. And we'll come into a figure four. Cross the right ankle over the left knee and hug that left leg in toward the chest. Notice where you're feeling the stretch. See if you could deepen it after a couple exhales. Just gently softening your edge. From here, bring the arms out to the sides in a T and shift the hips so that the right knee comes to the floor, and then to the opposite direction. Tap the foot and then back, tapping the right knee over to the left. This time pause. Let the sole of the right foot rest fully on the mat. Feel that stretch, that twist. Notice where sensation is the strongest. Use your breath to soften any tension. Back to center now. We're going to switch sides. Cross the left ankle over the right knee. Hug the right leg into the chest. Just taking a few breaths here to notice where you're feeling the stretch. Refine the pose gently. Little bit of core engagement, lifting the navel to the spine, keeping the low back gently pressing into the mat. Then bring the arms out into the T. We're going to come into a little twist. Drop that left knee. Come back to center. Drop sole of the left foot. Come back to center. Drop the left knee again. And then bring the sole of the left foot down to the right side and pause. Hold that twist. Breathing into any sticky spots. Letting your exhales soften your body, soften your edges. And then make your way back to center. Uncross the legs, bring the feet back down. Bring the arms by the sides. Drop the knees together and the feet onto the edges of the mat for Daydreamer. Send the breath around the hips, outside of the hips. Body starting to settle a little deeper. And if you want to, you can windshield wiper the knees, bringing in some more gentle movement, really working out any remaining tension or congestion through the hip sockets. And start to walk the feet back in, bringing them towards the hips. Tuck the shoulders under and then lift up into a bridge. Make sure you're really engaging your glutes, your hamstrings. Make sure you're keeping as much pressure off of the spine as possible, pressing down through the soles of the feet. Start to lower the hips about halfway, and then re-engage, lift all the way back up. Start to lower the hips again, sinking down, and then re-engage, lift all the way. This time roll all the way back down. Really take your time. And you can hug the knees into the chest. If it feels okay on your back, you can rock. Just getting a little massage. Maybe you find it easy to love other people, but you have a hard time extending love to yourself. Your practice on your mat can be an act of self-care, of self-love. Bring your feet back down. From here, we're going to come into a plow pose. Lift the hips up. Use the hands to support the low back as you bring the feet overhead and reach them carefully toward the floor. You can extend the arms if you want to, but make sure that your body feels well supported. Your toes might not touch the floor. We want to maintain some length in the torso rather than crunching and compressing too much just for the sake of getting the toes down. So take your time, let your body soften and ease into it. To release, we're going to keep really good core engagement all the way through. Start to very incrementally roll the spine back down, keeping the legs hugged in tight against the body. And then when you start to drop the legs, keep them active, point through the toes. Keep that core really, really strong as the legs come all the way down to the floor. Nice job. From here, we'll bring the arms out to the sides in a T. Bend the right leg up to tabletop, and with an exhale, cross that right leg over to the left. You can use that left hand against the knee for a little bit more twist. And you can complete the twist by turning to look over the right shoulder if you want to, if that feels okay on your neck. Otherwise, just keep your gaze up at the ceiling. Then we're going to swing that right arm over, touch the palms together, and open that right arm back up. Exhale, bring the right arm over, touch the left palm. Inhale, open back up. One more time. Exhale, touch that palm. Inhale, open back up. Really open through the chest. Then start bringing that right leg back in and stretch it out next to the left leg. We're going to switch. Left leg comes up to tabletop. Exhale, cross it over to the right side. Maybe you want to use the right hand to deepen the stretch a little bit. Maybe you want to turn to look over the left shoulder, if that feels okay on your neck. We're going to repeat those supine twists on this side now. Both arms out in a T. Left arm comes up and over, touch the palms. Inhale, open out again. Exhale, cross that left arm over, touch the right palm. Inhale, open up, shine that chest forward. Exhale, touch the palms. Inhale, open up again, expanding into the heart center. Then bring the left leg back up and drop it down next to the right leg. Swing the arms up overhead and take a huge full body stretch. Stretch into the fingertips, down into the toe tips. Arch the back. Release when you're ready, getting out any last wiggles, making any final adjustments to get really comfortable for our Shavasana. Maybe you want to lie flat. Maybe you want to prop the knees up. Maybe you want a blanket. Your best Shavasana. As we bring our heart opening practice to a close, I'd like to share a poem about love and a quote from my friend Catherine. She says, "Your first and last love should always be self-love." This poem is called Love After Love by Derek Walcott. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. When you're ready, begin to wake the body back up, making small, gentle movements with the fingers, the toes, the hands, and the feet. Maybe you want to stretch all the way through your limbs. And as you're ready, roll onto your favorite side and pause to take in a breath of gratitude. Pause to reach the breath around the heart, especially the back of the heart, just using the breath to loosen anything that's still stuck back there. One last chance to release and open. And then when you're ready, make your way all the way back up to a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.